My beloved child, perhaps in the darkest moments of your life you have turned your face into the shadows and quietly whispered, "Why me?" You sit alone in a silent room, listening to your aching heartbeat, feeling as though everything is collapsing around you. You look back at the dreams yet to be fulfilled, at fragile hopes swept away like dust in the wind. You blame life, and at times even blame me, wondering why I didn't stop the pain, why I let you face the storm alone. But, my dear child, if you listen more deeply, not with your ears, but with your heart, you will know that I have never left your side. With every trembling step you've taken on that rugged path, I have walked silently behind you. I did not go before you to shield you from every trial, because I know it is the very thorns underfoot that strengthen your stride. In pain, you learn to empathize. In failure, you come to cherish success. And in the moments you feel most abandoned, you learn to hear the stillness where my whisper reaches you. You once asked, "Why me?" But I say to you, because you are stronger than you know. Because you were not born to fall, but to rise, to shine, to become a living testament that love and faith can overcome even the deepest despair. Just because you cannot see me does not mean I am absent. Like the sun that still warms the earth behind gray clouds, or the seed quietly sprouting in the dark soil, I remain beside you, not flaunting, not demanding, but waiting for the moment you need me to lift you up, dry your tears, and smile with you again. I know you are weary. I know there are nights when you bury your face in your pillow, your heart breaking with no one noticing. But I also know that even in your pain, you did not give up. Every time you wiped away your tears and whispered to yourself, "Keep going," you were holding my hand, even if you didn't realize it. Every time you offered love to someone while your own heart bled, the light within you burned so brightly it warmed others, and I was proud of you beyond words. Life is not always easy to understand. There are things you cannot explain. There are losses that seem beyond repair. But, my child, believe this: nothing happens without meaning. Every wound can become the place where light enters. Every fall is a chance to see yourself anew and learn to rise with steadier feet. And every step, however slow, however uncertain, is leading you toward me, where unconditional love always awaits. You thought I was silent? It is not that I did not answer, but that I longed for you to listen with patience. It is not that I did not see your tears, but that I kept them in my heart as precious gems. Every tear you shed, I have witnessed. Every sigh you breathed, I have felt. You are never alone, never have been, and never will be. There are times when life feels like a fragile bridge stretched across an abyss. Each trembling step is a battle with fear. But I say to you, do not be afraid. Even if you stray, even if you lose your way, I am still there. Arms open, patiently waiting. No mistake is too great to drive me away. No failure can disappoint me. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you for who you are. With all your scars, your flaws, your tender heart, and your longing to live a life of meaning. My beloved child, this journey is yours, but you are not walking it alone. I am the silent strength behind every effort, the gentle breeze soothing every wound, the faint but unwavering light guiding you through the night. I cannot promise you a smooth road, but I promise this: you will never walk without me. Lift your head high, my child. Trust that every challenge is a chance for you to grow more beautiful. Don't let the storms steal the faith within you, for after the rain, the rainbow appears. And I will always be the one showing you where the colors break through the sky. You are light. You are hope. You are the living proof that my love has never been in vain. I see in you a strength even you have not yet recognized. And I believe, with all my being, that one day, not far from now, you will see it too, and be proud of who you've become. My child, keep walking. No matter how cold or harsh the world may seem, remember this one thing: I am always here, with unchanging love, with open arms, and with the deep certainty that you are worthy of all that is good, because you are an irreplaceable part of my heart, and I never, not once, have abandoned you, my beloved child. There are days when your heart feels heavy, like a sky weighed down with gray clouds, when everything you hope for seems to turn its back on you. You feel lost in the tangled paths of life, burdened with questions that have no answers. Why has everything become so hard? Why do the doors you believed were yours slam shut before you? Why does each step feel like a struggle across the chasm of despair and pain? In those moments, you may feel utterly alone, as though the whole world has turned away, and your heart drifts into a barren silence with no echo. But my child, I want you to pause for a moment and hear what I am quietly placing in your heart today. I have never, not ever, and will never leave you. Even when you cannot hear my voice, even when you do not feel my presence, I am still there, silent, patient, and full of love. Do you remember those moments when it felt like the world was crumbling beneath you, when your soul clenched with pain and your tears fell without a sound? In those very moments, I was right beside you. Though unseen, I wrapped my arms around your trembling soul. I wiped the tears from your cheeks, and I whispered into your heart, "Do not be afraid. I am here." But sometimes the pain is so loud that you cannot hear me, so heavy that you do not feel my sheltering warmth. That is all right, for I understand, and I remain, waiting for the moment you turn and see that you were never alone. Every time you thought you had collapsed, every time you blamed yourself for not being strong enough, those were the times I carried you on my shoulders. You did not walk alone through the storm. You did not face the darkness by yourself. I was with you, guiding you through every rough stretch, step by step. I do not promise a life free of hardship, but I promise that my hand will always be wide enough to hold you whenever you grow weary. You once believed your faith was faltering, that you were too weak to continue. But my dear one, you did not know that, in the very moment you thought you had surrendered, you were learning to trust in what cannot be seen. You were being taught to live not by sight, but by faith, in the sacred love I have for you. Every challenge you endure is not an end, but a preparation, shaping you to be stronger, deeper, and more compassionate. I did not design your life to be filled only with sorrow, but neither could I shield you from every storm. For it is through the rain that you learn to cherish the sunshine. It is in the uncertain moments that you come to understand the power of a hand extended in love. You do not need to be the strongest, the best, or the most perfect. You only need to be yourself, the child I created with all my loving heart. My beloved child, if today you still feel lost, if your heart is filled with questions and uncertainty, then please, cry if you need to. Speak to me. I listen to every sigh you breathe. I understand every crack within your soul. And I love you even when you find it impossible to love yourself. I do not wait for you to become perfect before I love you. I have loved you from the very first moment you felt you had nothing left to give. You may still walk through dark days, still stumble and feel pain, but please, never believe you are alone in this battle. Even if the world turns its back on you, even if others walk away, I remain your place of return, a place that never closes its doors, never judges, only overflows with unending, eternal love. You are a precious creation, a light in a world that often feels too dark. Know that your presence is not an accident. You are here because I chose you, because I love you, and because I have a purpose for your life. A purpose far beyond what you can imagine. Do not let temporary suffering blind you to this truth. You are deeply, eternally, and unconditionally loved. So rise again, even if your legs tremble. Take the next step, even if the path is unclear. For I, who love you more than my own life, walk beside you. Every step, every second, every heartbeat. And in the quietest of moments, when all seems still, I am whispering, my child, I am here. My precious one, I know there are nights when you wrestle silently with yourself, when you sit in the shadows of doubt, haunted by echoes from the past, whispers reminding you of your failures, your missteps, choices that made you feel unworthy of love, of forgiveness, of acceptance. I understand it all. I see not only the tears you try to hide, but also the unspoken thoughts, the quiet worries you dare not voice. And today, I want you to know this, with clarity as radiant as dawn after the darkest night. You have always been priceless in my eyes. Do not let past mistakes become a distorted lens through which you misjudge yourself. Do not allow the voices of criticism, whether from others or from within, to drown out this sacred truth. You are my creation. I formed every detail in you with care, every emotion, every dream, every spark of light in your soul. Nothing about you is accidental. You are not a mistake, but the result of a love that is intentional, profound, and eternal. You've wondered, did I choose the wrong path? Am I not good enough? Is everything falling apart because of me? These questions may weigh heavily on your heart. But, my child, I do not see you through the lens of your failures or faults. I see you through the eyes of mercy, through unending hope. I do not see a lost soul. I see a warrior learning to rise, learning to love themselves, even when the world has not. You do not have to prove yourself worthy of my love, because my love never required proof. It is not based on your right or wrong decisions, nor on your success or failure. My love is your foundation, not your reward. And that foundation will never be shaken, no matter how fierce the storm. I know you felt not enough, not good enough, not strong enough, not holy enough. But let me say what I pray you will write on your heart. You are enough. Not because you are perfect, but because you were created in my perfect image. Within every person is the mark of the Creator, and that mark cannot be erased by any failure or mistake. Remember those moments when you forgave others, even through pain. Recall when you offered gentle words and soft glances while your own heart was breaking. Those were not signs of weakness, but the strength I placed within you. A strength born of love, of compassion, of inner light. And it is in such moments that you reflect me most clearly. Not when you are flawless, but when you choose love and continue walking, even as your wounds bleed. Never believe that I created you only to abandon you. There is no oversight in my loving plan. Wherever you are on your journey, however far you feel you've strayed, there is always a way home. Not to be judged, but to be embraced. Not to be questioned, but to be healed. Do you know this? Even when you doubt yourself, I do not doubt you. I still trust you, still see your worth, still believe in your power to rise from ashes. You are more precious than anything you can yet comprehend. Don't let anyone, not even yourself, convince you otherwise. You may not see it now. The pain may still linger, the wounds not yet healed. But I promise you, with every step, whether lost or slow, I am walking with you. When you can no longer find the words to pray, I am the gentle whisper in your heart. When you no longer believe in yourself, I am the faith that holds on to hope for you. And when the burdens of life weigh you down, I am the place where you can rest in peace. My beloved, do not let doubt or wounds dim the light within you. I have placed a flame inside you, and it will never go out as long as you dare to believe in love. Look in the mirror, and instead of seeing only flaws, see a soul learning to love, to live, to forgive. See yourself as I see you, beautiful, beloved, and utterly worthy of all good things. For I make no mistakes, and certainly I made no mistake in creating you. With eternal love, I, the one who is always with you, my dearest child. The path you've walked, filled with twists, deep valleys, and steep hills, has never been a meaningless string of accidents. Every step has shaped the extraordinary person you are becoming. Every stumble followed by a rise. Every silent tear swallowed. Every decision made in confusion. All are brushstrokes in the masterpiece I am painting with your life. You are not a replica, not a misplaced puzzle piece in the crowd. You are unique, a sacred creation, molded not only by time and trial, but by my very heart, filled with unconditional love. Your wounds, those moments you thought everything was lost, are the very places where beauty begins to bloom. I have used what seemed weakest in you to reveal strength, not a loud, boastful strength, but one that is quiet, enduring, and unbreakable. Perhaps you've asked, why me? Or, why must I walk such a hard path? But my child, it is because I love you, that I do not let you remain in the comfort zone where your heart never learns to grow. I do not want you to only know peace, forgetting the value of resilience. You must walk through darkness to see the brilliance of light. You must lose the old to make room for the new. Your journey, with all its seeming cracks, is not a mistake. It is part of an eternal design, a symphony for which I have written every note. Each heartbeat of yours rests within my providence. Nothing that happens to you escapes my sight. Closed doors are not punishments, they are protection. Blocked roads are not dead ends, they are redirections toward something greater. I know the plans I have for you, not plans of burden, but of hope. My plan does not promise ease, but it promises meaning. It may not shield you from tears, but it will sanctify every tear. Through them you will learn endurance, trust, and above all, the unchanging love I have for you. My child, believe in this plan. Even when you cannot see the full picture, even when all appears chaotic or lost, I am weaving a great tapestry, though sometimes you see only a fragment. Be brave and continue walking, with your heart open and your faith nourished day by day. For I have never forgotten you. Every moment I work silently but powerfully for your eternal good. I see your future, not bound by your past or present, but guided by my loving hand. Even if you cannot yet see it, even if you're still surrounded by darkness, the light of hope burns steadily within you. I have planted within your heart a flame of hope that will never be extinguished, a flame of a unique calling I have designed for you. So, my beloved, do not let doubts overwhelm your mind. Do not let wounds blur your vision of what lies ahead. Hold fast to your faith, not because you understand everything, but because you know that I, who love you with eternal love, hold your destiny in my hand. And in my hand, nothing is meaningless. Walk forward with renewed courage. Let your heart open once more to embrace my plan, a plan that never gives up, never breaks its promise, and always leads to fullness of life. I will take you to places you've never dreamed, guide you through every storm, and when you look back, you will see how what once felt like misfortune became extraordinary grace. And you will understand with all your heart that you are not just a journey, you are a miracle. My beloved child, there is a sacred truth you need to know. Life does not always unfold the way you imagine. I understand. You grew up in a world where people constantly speak of taking control of your destiny, shaping your own future, and carrying it all on your own. At times, you too have tried to control everything, every plan, every dream, every step, because you thought it was the only way to keep yourself safe. I do not blame you for that. On the contrary, I understand. Because you acted out of fear, out of a longing to be protected, out of the worry that if you weren't holding the wheel, everything would fall apart. But today, I invite you into something greater. Surrender. My child, surrender does not mean you become weak or abandon responsibility. No, surrender is not a hopeless resignation, nor is it a passive acceptance of life. True surrender is the most powerful act you can make, for it requires deep trust, a courageous heart willing to let go of control and embrace something far greater. Surrender is when you place every plan, every dream, even your pain and hopes into my hands. Not because you've stopped caring, but because you trust that I care even more than you do. Perhaps you've drawn for yourself a path where everything makes sense, where there are no sudden turns, no pain. But I want to tell you this: I have a different path for you. It may not always be easy, but it is the best one. For it leads you to the very purpose I set for you before you were formed in your mother's womb. And only when you surrender, only when you release your grip on the wheel and let me guide you, will you truly step into my living, powerful will for your life. I know you've felt disappointed, perhaps because what you hoped for didn't happen, or it happened in ways you didn't expect. Perhaps you cried out for my intervention, but the heavens seemed silent. Perhaps you tried your hardest to keep everything together, yet found yourself drifting further from your anchor. And in those moments, you may have wondered, are you even listening? Do you truly care? I have heard every single one of those questions, and the answer is yes. Not only do I hear you, but I am also moving, quietly but surely. And to see that, to perceive the wondrous flow of my plan, you need to do just one thing: trust and surrender. When you place your plans in my hands, you're not losing anything. You're trading them for something better. I don't take away your dreams to make you suffer. I long to make them fuller, deeper, and more beautifully timed. I may refine them, even change them entirely. Not to punish, but to protect you from what you cannot yet see. My child, surrender requires trust. And that trust isn't built on fleeting feelings, but on relationship. You're not surrendering to a distant force, not to a blind fate. You're surrendering to your Father, the one who intricately created you, the one who loves you beyond what words can express, and the one who has never made a mistake. I do not promise you a journey without tears, but I do promise that your tears will never be wasted. I do not promise a path without hardship, but I promise you will never walk it alone. And I certainly do not promise that everything will go according to your plan, but I do promise that all things will work together for your good when you place your trust in me. The true transformation in your life will not come when everything around you changes, but when your heart is renewed. A heart that learns to trust, that learns to let go of control, that learns to love itself and believe in its Creator. It is in surrender that you will experience a freedom you have never known before. A freedom that doesn't come from controlling everything, but from knowing there is one who holds everything, and that one is me. I am waiting for you, not to judge you, but to draw you close. I will not force your surrender, because love never forces. But I invite you, with patience, with kindness, and with all the heart of a father, step out of the endless cycle of worry. Lay your burdens at my feet. Allow me to step in and do what only I can do. Heal, restore, guide, and transform. And then you will see. Not everything turned out the way you planned, but everything became more beautiful than you ever dared to dream. With all my love, I, who will never leave your side. My beloved child, I know there have been seasons in your life that passed so slowly it felt as though time itself was testing your patience. You waited faithfully for a door to open, for an answer to come, for a glimmer of light at the end of a long, shadowed road. At times, you've wondered silently, have you forgotten me? But today I speak to you with all the tenderness of my love. I have not missed a single moment of your tear-riddled, hope-laced journey. Every whispered word, every quiet cry you uttered in the night, I have heard them all. Not one has been lost. You have prayed in silence. There have been days when you no longer had words to say to me, only tears. And those, too, were the most beautiful prayers. You thought you were merely waiting for a miracle, but in truth, the greatest miracle was how I have been slowly transforming your heart during what felt like uneventful years. I do not work in haste, for true love is never rushed. It is patient, steadfast, and full of purpose. I am teaching you how to walk not by sight, but by faith, a faith that endures even the storms of doubt. I see the silent battles you face. Others may not understand the war inside your soul, but I know. I see the weariness in your eyes, the worry in every breath you try to hide. I see the moments you smile on the outside but are breaking within. You may be skilled at hiding from the world, but you never need to hide from me. I do not demand perfect strength. I only ask for your honest heart, even if it trembles and bleeds. But, my dear one, there is something important I want you to remember. The greatest transformation doesn't happen when you control everything, but when you choose to fall into my arms with complete trust. It is in the moments you release the need to understand everything, surrender your fear of failure, and lay all your worries at my feet. That's when my power begins to work most fully. You don't need to come to me in a perfect state. Come in the rawest truth of your weakness. Come when you're exhausted, when words no longer form in prayer. Just come. Simply be with me, and I will do the rest. Because I don't need you to strive to be loved. I only need you to believe that you already are. Loved enough that I will not abandon you in your present state, and loved enough that I will not let you remain forever bound in fear and doubt. Your faith, even as small as a mustard seed, is enough for me to do the miraculous. When you finally lay down the burdens you've carried for far too long, I will give you unshakable peace in return. When you surrender your fears, not to fate, but to me, that is when you'll feel light again, as if the chains had never existed. And then, what you have long waited for, change, breakthrough, new life, will come, not like a whirlwind, but like gentle light piercing the night, quietly and miraculously dispelling the darkness. You may not realize it, but every moment you persist in trusting, you are laying a foundation that cannot be broken. It is not built from ease, but forged through tears, endurance, and my unchanging love. And when the time is right, my time, not yours, everything will change. Not because you tried hard enough, but because you trusted deeply enough. So, do not stop hoping. Do not give up the dream I have planted in your heart. Do not walk away just because the door hasn't opened. I am still working, even in silence. I am still moving in the unseen, and what I have promised, I will fulfill. My beloved child, I have never been late, and I have never been absent. Trust in me, not only with your mind, but with your heart. For when you place yourself in my hands with unconditional faith, that is the very moment you will witness the most wondrous thing. I do not only change your circumstances, I transform you. And you will come to realize that the greatest miracle is not what you have been waiting for to arrive, but that you yourself are slowly becoming that very miracle. My precious one, sit down. Be still for a while. I want you, amid all the chaos, among the noise of life, to take a deep moment to look back at the journey you've traveled. Not to judge it, nor to stir up old wounds, but to begin seeing with eyes of grace, with a heart wide open and full of self-love. You have lived, endured, and stood strong through storms others may never even know about. There are wounds that have yet to heal, memories that still bring tears, even after all these years. Yet in the midst of those days, I saw you grow. You learned to forgive, sometimes others, but perhaps most bravely, yourself. You learned to keep going, even when your steps were weary, and I, your father, was there, quietly watching, loving, through it all. Now, I do not want you to revisit the past to blame or shame yourself. Instead, I invite you to illuminate your soul with the light of truth and hope. Look closely at each season you've walked through. There may be things you wish you had done differently, but there are also many things you did right. Things that deserve your gratitude and respect. Let your eyes not linger only on the pain, but also see the times you loved, gave, and fought with courage. Do not fear reflection. This is not a journey of condemnation, but one of enlightenment. When you dare to look at yourself with honesty, humility, and love, you create space for change, for growth, for healing. The mirror is not meant to shame, but to show where you might polish, where you already shine, and where beauty is still being born. Above all, it is the way I guide you, gently, never forcefully, inviting you into a better version of yourself. I do not expect you to become perfect all at once. I know that parts of you are still messy, still unsure. But I also see a radiant beauty within you. Not a flawlessness, but a heart that feels deeply, rises bravely, and seeks goodness amid a broken world. You were created with sacred worth. Nothing can erase that truth. Take time to listen to the quiet voice within, the place where I keep whispering to you, you are precious, you are lovable, you have a purpose. Step away from the constant judgment of the world, where you are too easily defined by your mistakes or failures, and step into my gaze, a gaze that loves even your unfinished parts, because it is from there that I begin my greatest work. You might be surprised if I told you this, but your life carries a unique beauty. Even if you feel lost in the desert, flowers are blooming somewhere. Even if your journey feels cloaked in shadow, there is light breaking through the cracks. Never forget, sometimes it is in the very breaking that I create the most wondrous things. My creation, the world around you, bursts with a beauty no one can replicate. And so do you. You are part of that creation, not abandoned, not meaningless. Begin to see your life not only through memory, but through hope. Do not let the past imprison you. Let the present become the place where you are healed, renewed, and fully alive. Let each day be a new beginning, a chance to continue the journey, to keep learning, and to love yourself through my truth. My child, if today you feel weak, that's all right. Come to me just as you are, with your tangled heart, your empty hands, or your weary, doubting mind. I do not need you to be perfect in order to love you. I only ask that you be brave enough to be honest and willing to let me enter, begin again, and make all things new. And then you will see, within you lie treasures still asleep. There is resilience, there is compassion, there is wisdom, there is love you never knew you could give. And when these are awakened, they will illuminate not just your life, but the lives of those you touch. So, my beloved one, look back, not to ache, but to recognize and honor who you are. I am walking with you, every single step, and I will not stop until you become the most radiant version of yourself, the one I dreamed of from the very beginning. With all my love, I, who have always believed in you and never left your side. My dear child, there are moments, in the midst of your burdens and unmet longings, when you may feel weighed down by the shadow of disappointment, by what has not yet come, and dreams still unfinished. Your mind is caught in fears, unanswered questions, and wounds not yet healed. In that whirlwind, it's easy to believe that blessings are for others, while you are left behind. But I want you to know this: blessings do not always appear the way you expect. Sometimes, they come in the smallest, quietest forms. A sliver of sunlight through your window. A hand reaching out at just the right moment. Or simply, a fleeting sense of peace in your heart during the storm. Blessings are not always obvious miracles. Often they are the result of a heart that chooses to see through gratitude. When you begin to view your life not only through what is missing, but through all that is already present, you will witness something miraculous. Your world begins to change. No, your circumstances might not shift. You're still waiting, still facing challenges, but your perspective transforms. And when your eyes change, everything around you begins to feel new. This is not denial or pretending everything is fine. It is a choice to see life through the light of hope instead of the darkness of fear. I never asked you to ignore your pain, but I invite you to trust that even within the pain there are tiny rays of light, and if you open your heart to them, they will light up your soul. Transformation begins within your mind and heart. Don't wait for your situation to change before you decide to live positively. Let the change begin inside you. When you shift your focus away from what's lacking and toward what is already good, something mysterious happens. Your heart feels lighter, your steps steadier, and you begin to sense my presence more clearly than ever before. I know this is not always easy. Sometimes it feels like you are battling your own thoughts, between faith and doubt, between hope and despair. But my child, I am right there. In every moment you choose to look up instead of down, to believe instead of fear, to hope instead of give up. And in that very choice, my light begins to shine within you. It not only lights your path, but makes you a light for others. Quiet, but strong. You will never be able to control everything that happens out there, but you can always choose how you respond. And that choice, the decision to live with a heart full of hope and gratitude, is the key that unlocks the new things I have already prepared for you. Each day you are given the chance to be renewed, not by your own strength, but by the quiet yet powerful transformation that begins deep within your soul. Start with the small things. A whispered thank you in the morning. A smile to yourself in the mirror. A moment to pause and feel the pulse of life flowing within you. These simple acts, when done with a sincere heart, will open great doors. For when you learn to find the light in what seems ordinary, that is when you are truly living in my love and guidance. My beloved child, trust that each new day is an invitation to live more deeply, to understand more fully, and to draw nearer to me. Do not fear changing your perspective, for in that very shift, you are stepping into a life that is richer, more radiant, and filled with my presence. And when you begin to see life through the eyes of hope, when you choose to believe in goodness even before you see it, you will come to understand a profound truth. Blessings are not something you must chase after. They are what you come to recognize when your heart is ready to see. I am still here, waiting for you. Not to scold you for the days you doubted, but to embrace you every time you return, with eyes wide open and a heart full of light. My precious child, in this world full of noise and distraction, I know there are days you feel lost in the dark. Maybe it's the unnamed fears that slip in when you wake in the middle of the night. Maybe it's the whispers of criticism, the doubtful glances, the memories of failure that lead you to ask, am I good enough? Am I worthy? Am I on the right path? And then, little by little, doubt creeps in, like a fog dimming the light within you. But my child, hear me clearly now. I am the God of light. In me there is no darkness, no deception, no shadow of doubt. My light does not merely shine upon you, it pierces through your soul, healing what is broken, illuminating paths you never dared to walk, and warming the parts of you that have long been neglected or feared. This world will always try to make you doubt, not only me, but also your own worth. It will say you're not strong enough, that you've made too many mistakes, that you'll never be able to change anything. But child, that voice is not mine. Do not let the darkness of the world define you, for I have defined you long before the world ever knew your name. I called you forth in love. I placed within you life, meaning, and an eternal purpose. Let my light enter your soul. Let it dissolve every fear, every lie, every burden you've carried for too long. When you open your heart to that light, you will begin to see the world and yourself with new eyes. You will see that even in failure, hope is budding. Even in pain, beauty is being restored. And even in your weakest moments, you carry a strength I placed in you from the very beginning. I did not create you to live in fear. I did not design you to shrink back from adversity or bow before the voice of failure. No, I formed you to be courageous, to stand firm, to live with a spirit of power and love. The spirit I gave you is not one of confusion, panic, or surrender. It is a spirit of self-retreat, a spirit that can hold peace in the storm, that can choose forgiveness in the face of hurt, that can love even when you have not been loved as you deserve. You may not see this in yourself right now. Perhaps too many disappointments have clouded your vision. but I see it. I have always seen you as a warrior, not a warrior without wounds, but one who rises again, even after many falls. And that, my child, is what makes you radiant in my eyes. You are mine. That is not merely a title. It is your essence, your identity, your foundation. And what belongs to me is not shaken by lies or darkness. Even when the world is loud and tries to drown out the call of life within you, I am still here, whispering to your soul, do not be afraid. I am with you. I love you. My light in you will never go out. So, my beloved, step out of the shadows. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be willing to return, to open your heart to the light. And I will do the rest. I will illuminate your path, one step at a time. I will remind you that you are worthy of a full life, filled with joy and hope. I will reveal to you a beauty no one else can carry, the unique beauty of your being, crafted in my image. You are the light, not because you strive to become it, but because I placed that light within you from the very beginning, and no darkness can extinguish it. My dearest child, there will be days when you feel as though you are standing alone, walking upstream against the current. People around you may choose the easier road, the one praised and accepted, even if it means compromising what is right. And in the depth of your soul, you know you cannot follow that path, because you were made for something better, truer, and more noble. That is when I whisper to your heart, stand firm. Stand firm, not with harshness or pride, but with faithfulness and the deep conviction that righteousness is never the wrong choice. It may make you feel isolated, misunderstood, or even opposed, but know this: standing for what is right is one of the most beautiful things you can ever do. Because every time you choose truth over falsehood, love over hate, forgiveness over revenge, you are reflecting my light in a world that desperately needs it. The path of righteousness is not always lined with roses. Sometimes it is rocky, and every step tests your courage and endurance. But that path, my child, is the one that leads to life. Not just life in this world, but life in its fullness. Life rich with meaning, life in my abiding presence. You do not need to see the entire journey, you only need to remember this: I am walking with you. Know there are moments when you feel weary. You have done what is right, yet the outcome has not met your hopes. You have loved deeply, but received pain in return. You have chosen forgiveness, yet the hurt lingers. You have stayed upright in heart, yet the world still doubts and criticizes you. In those moments, you may ask yourself, is it worth it to live righteously? And I answer you, without hesitation, it is. It is more than worth it. Because each time you choose what is right, something in your soul becomes stronger, deeper. Each time you keep your conscience clear, you are planting seeds of peace. And one day, when those seeds bloom, you will enter a harvest of life, of joy, and of my nearness like never before. You are never alone in your choice. When you stand for truth, I stand with you. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you are rejected or pushed away, I am your refuge and restoration. I never leave you, not for a moment. Even when the world turns its back, I hold your hand. Even when people forget you, I remember every breath, every tear, every hidden longing in your heart. I have not called you to walk an easy path, but I have called you to walk the right one. And in each step you take, I am not merely beside you. I go before you, preparing the way, clearing the path, and laying out goodness ahead of you. What you surrender today, the approval of people, the comfort of compromise, can never compare to the eternal reward I have prepared for you. The deep peace within your soul, the closeness with me, and a future filled with hope. So, my beloved, stand firm. Do not trade truth for temporary company. Do not lose my gentle whisper in your heart for the applause of the world. Do not let the fear of loss cause you to miss the true life I am calling you into. Keep walking, even if it means walking alone. Keep choosing what is right, even if no one stands with you. Keep living by the truth, even if the cost seems high. For you never walk alone. I am the one who never leaves you, never forgets you, and never breaks a promise. And one day, when you look back, you will see every faithful step you took led you closer to me, the one who loves you with an unshakable love. My precious child, there will be moments in life when you stand at crossroads, where choosing me does not seem like the easy way. It is the narrow path, often lonely, sometimes silent, and full of challenges. You will face opposing voices, skeptical glances, even rejection and misunderstanding. The world will whisper, "It's safer to follow the crowd." Being different is dangerous. Faith is outdated, but I want you to remember this. Etch it deeply into your heart. You were not made to blend in. You were made to shine. Yes, you will have to go against the current. You may be the only one standing up for what is right. You may turn down what the world finds appealing. You may choose silence when others judge, forgiveness when others seek revenge, love when the world turns cold. And you will discover that living by my word is not merely a moral decision. It is the deepest, bravest offering of your heart to me. Do not be afraid when you feel alone, because truly, you are not. I am with you. And even more, in the very moments when you dare to be different, when you dare to stand in truth, when you dare to reflect my light in the darkest places, you are becoming the answer for a world desperate for what is real. The world does not always know what it needs. It chases joy through illusions, comfort in noise, value in what fades. But in that very darkness, the light within you will reach wandering souls. You don't have to shout to prove anything. Just live honestly with me, and the light in you will shine on its own, warm and strong. And those who are seeking truth, even a flicker of it, will see that light, and through your life, they will come to see me. You cannot live for me and be applauded by everyone. Obedience may cause you to be misunderstood, judged, even rejected. But I promise you this, every sacrifice made for me will never be in vain. Every step against the tide, every moment you choose faith over compromise, every tear shed in silence for choosing the path of integrity. I see them all, I remember, and I bless them. When you live for me, You are stepping into a plan far greater than your own understanding. A plan not only for your joy, but for the transformation of the world around you. You are part of something far beyond yourself. A divine tapestry of love, light, and truth that I am weaving into the darkness of this world. And I, your God, will not let you go without grace. My grace will go before you like the dawn lighting the way. My grace will stay with you like a cool breeze in a dry desert. My grace will show up through unexpected people, souls who are also searching for the light. And through your light they will find their way home. I will cause you to be loved by those who recognize the true treasure within you, not for your status, not for your appearance, but because they see me in you. And one more thing, my child, when you choose me over pleasing the world, you are stepping into true freedom. No longer living to meet others' expectations, no longer swayed by fleeting standards. You are free to be who you truly are, the one I have wonderfully and purposefully created. Walk forward with courage. Live as light, not a flickering light that fades with trends, but a steady light, kind, humble, and powerful from above. Don't let the fear of rejection stop you from doing what is right. Don't let the desire to be accepted pull you off the solid path. Let me be your foundation, your strength, and the loudest voice in your heart. For you are my child, called to shine, to bring hope, to live a life not according to the ways of darkness, but according to the ways of the kingdom of light. My beloved, how many times has your heart grown weary from a cold stare, a careless word, or a remark that made you question your worth? I know. I see every time you try to rise, to live rightly, to love deeply, and yet are misunderstood, criticized, even dismissed. Words of judgment, even brief ones, can leave deep marks on the soul, and you begin to wonder, am I enough? Am I on the wrong path? But today I want you to pause, breathe deeply, and hear me clearly. Do not let the voices of others define you. The people around you, no matter how much they love you, can only see the surface. They may see your actions, hear your words, but only I see your heart. I see every stirring in your soul, every intention, even the ones you keep hidden. I see the battles you fight within that no one else knows about, the things you've overcome silently. I know the sacrifices you've made in quiet. I see the times you chose what's right, though no one stood with you. I remember. People may judge you in a single moment. They may place labels on you that you never chose. But I, the one who formed you from the earth and with eternal love, have never, not for a single second, stopped knowing exactly who you are in my eyes. And what I see is not someone who has failed, not someone who isn't enough or must become someone else to be accepted. I see a precious child, chosen, called, and loved. Don't let the noise outside drown out the sacred whisper I've placed inside your heart. My voice is gentle, yet mighty like the ocean. It doesn't rush, it doesn't shout, but it is true. And the truth is this: you are enough. Right here, right now. Not because you've done everything perfectly, but because you belong to me. Not because you are approved by others, but because you have been chosen by me. And my choice is never a mistake. You don't need to prove your worth through perfection or by earning approval. Let my gaze be the mirror in which you see yourself. When others see flaws, I see growth. When they see you fall, I see you learning to rise. When they doubt you, I place my trust in you. So, my child, let my eyes guide your steps. Let my understanding and unconditional love be the foundation of your faith. Let your heart rest not in human praise or criticism, but in the unshakable truth that you are chosen and you are being led. When you know that you are deeply and steadfastly loved, every other voice, no matter how loud, will gradually grow faint. And in that quiet space, you will hear my voice more clearly. You are mine. You are loved. You are more precious than gold. I do not see you through the lens of the world, but through the unchanging eyes of love. Hold tightly to that truth in your heart. Let it be your comfort when you are misunderstood. Let it be your guiding light when you feel lost in the noise of public opinion. Let it be the place you return to whenever your heart grows weary, a place no one can reach to wound you. Because I am there. And if you are still doubting, still feeling the heaviness of unhealed words, then come closer to me. Let me hold you in the silence. Wipe away the tears no one sees, and remind you of the one truth that matters most. I know you. I love you. And I will never leave you, my beloved child. When the world feels chaotic, when your steps seem uncertain, and your heart is flooded with unanswered questions, I want you to remember this. My word is an eternal light. It never dims, never fades. No matter how dark the night becomes, no matter how thick the fog surrounds you, my word remains a lamp to your feet, a lighthouse that never misguides. There will be moments when the path ahead seems obscured, when the future feels swallowed by shadows. Dreams may seem distant, and even the most certain plans may dissolve like mist. You'll ask yourself, how do I go on? And perhaps you'll start searching for answers in others, in the world, in the loud voices that echo every day, only to find more confusion or even fear. In those moments, dear one, return to my word. It is in those breath-filled pages that you will find life, not just dry letters, but living words that can touch your heart like a stream in the desert. Those words will remind you of who you truly are, of the one to whom you belong, and of the path I have prepared for you. A path that may not be easy, but is sure to lead to life, peace, and hope. My word is not only light for today, but a promise for tomorrow. When you are uncertain, my word is your assurance. When you are weary, it is the place where you can rest. When you rejoice, it grounds you in humility. When you are hurting, it is balm for your soul. And when you feel empty, it is the bread that nourishes the deepest parts of your being. I do not promise a life without storms, but I promise that in every storm, my word will be the oar that keeps you from being swept away. The words I speak never return void. They fulfill what I intend, and they bear fruit in due time. My promises are more secure than the foundations of the earth. While everything else may change, feelings, circumstances, people, even your own emotions, my word remains unchanging. And with that word, I give you something of immeasurable worth: eternal love. A love that is not swayed by behavior, not eroded by time, not conditioned by circumstance. I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. That love is deeper than the ocean, higher than the heavens, wider than anything you could ever imagine. You are never alone, dear one. Even if you feel lost in a desert, even if you feel that no one truly understands you, I am there, not hiding, not turning away. I am there, in every breath you take, in every tear you shed, in every quiet prayer you whisper. I am there, always seeing, always listening, always leading you with my kindness. Let my word be a refuge for your soul. Let every syllable take root and hold you steady in the storm. Let every promise remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, and that my ways, though higher than yours, are always good. When you don't know which step to take next, open my word. When you feel lost, open my word. Whether in joy or sorrow, let my word be the loudest voice in your heart. Louder than the noise, louder than the doubt, louder than the fear. Because, my beloved, I am the Lord your God, who never changes, and my word will always be your compass through every season, until the day you stand before me and hear me say, "You have finished the race, you have kept the faith. You are my beloved child, and I have always been with you." My precious one, I see into the depths of your heart, where words fail, where pain hides beneath daily calm. I know you are holding on, pressing forward with so much stored up within. Some burdens have become like flesh and bone, carried through the days with no one noticing. But dear one, I have never forgotten. I have never turned away from your sorrow. On the contrary, I have always walked beside you, waiting for you to place in my hands what you were never meant to carry alone. You were not created to live a life bent under invisible pain. These burdens are not your sentence, nor the end of hope. They are not meant to crush you, but to help you realize you cannot and need not carry them all alone. I did not come to rebuke you for being tired, for being weak, or for falling. I came to say to you, beloved, let me carry it with you. Bring your sorrow to me, every quiet tear, every unhealed wound, every sleepless night. Do not fear that they are too small, too complicated, or too broken. To me, nothing is beyond the reach of love. When you lay your sorrow at my feet, I will not leave it there. I will return to you a deep joy, not the fleeting kind, but the joy rooted in peace, growing from faith and enduring through every storm. Bring your cries to me, the choked sobs, the unheard pleas. I will turn those cries into songs of praise, not because your situation suddenly changes, but because life begins to rise within you. I will place in your soul a new dance, not born of ease, but of true, deep healing. You can even bring me your ashes, broken dreams, unfinished plans, things you once believed in but now lie in ruins. Do not be ashamed of what you've lost. Bring it all to me. Lay it in my hands. Because I am the one who turns ashes into beauty. I will breathe life into what seemed dead and cause flowers to bloom where you only saw dry ground. And then you will witness the miracle. I will clothe you in garments of praise, no longer wearing shame, wounds, or bitterness. Instead, you'll be robed in gentleness, soaked in freedom, gratitude, and the joy of heaven. Your heart will no longer be weighed down with sighs, but will begin to sing a hymn of thanksgiving, not because you have everything you once wanted, but because you have me, and I am enough. Dear one, I do not promise you will never face sorrow, but I do promise that your sorrow will never be wasted. If you give it to me, I will use even those things to transform you into someone stronger, deeper, and filled with greater love. What the enemy meant for harm, I will use for blessing. And everything you thought was lost, I will restore in wondrous ways. So come, sit with me for a while. Lay your head upon my chest. Breathe out everything that's been wearing you down. You don't need to pretend to be okay. I'm not asking for a show of false strength. I only ask that you be honest with yourself and trust that I am big enough, kind enough to hold all of who you are, even the parts you find the least lovable. And then, in that stillness, you will feel the most sacred of all things, my peace. Not a peace that comes from your surroundings, but one that flows from the unchanging love I have for you. Let me come in, not merely to help you survive life, but to give you life in abundance. You are my beloved child, and I never grow weary of loving you. Today, right now, let me begin to turn ashes into beauty, mourning into dancing, burdens into peace, and pain into a song of restoration, because you are worthy of living in praise, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. My beloved one, quiet your heart for a moment so I can whisper this truth to you. I have a purpose reserved just for you, one that was not shaped by circumstances, not limited by time, and certainly not hindered by the weaknesses you've encountered. That purpose is far greater than anything you've imagined, because it comes from my very heart, the one who formed you in love and calls you by a name no one else can claim. My child, perhaps you've believed your life is small, that past failures have erased every possibility of a brighter future. Maybe you've looked at your limitations and felt disheartened, convinced there's nothing in you worth hoping for. But my dear, I do not see you the way you see yourself. When I look at you, I don't just see who you are now. I see the potential I placed in you from the very beginning. I see dreams you've never dared to dream, doors you've never had the courage to knock on, and a future authored by my wisdom, saturated with my love, and empowered by heaven's might. I have plans to bless you, not just so you can live a comfortable life, but so that you become a living testimony of my goodness and faithfulness. In every detail, your daily work, your relationships, even the silent desires hidden in your heart. I am present, quietly weaving a tapestry far greater and deeper than what your eyes can now behold. But to step into that plan, you must bring one thing, just one, yet utterly essential: faith. Faith is not a fleeting emotion. It is a daily choice, a choice to believe that I am faithful, even when nothing seems to change. A choice to believe that my timing is perfect, even when you wait in tears. A choice to trust that you don't have to understand everything, because I already do. You may ask me, why hasn't the promise come? Why do I keep praying and see no breakthrough? And I say this to you, not to delay, but to deepen your faith. A faith that isn't shaken by what your eyes see, but anchored in the word I've spoken. I am never late, my child. I haven't forgotten a single word you've whispered to me. Every tear, every silent cry, I've gathered them all. But I do not bless in the way you expect. I bless in the way that is best for you, because I know which paths lead to life, and you don't yet see the full picture. Trust me with all your heart, not only with the easy parts, but with the hidden corners you still keep guarded. Trust me not only when skies are clear, but also when the storm rolls in. Trust me not only when you're comforted, but when you need correction too. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to the blessing I've prepared for you. And that key can only be held tightly when you choose to grip it with your whole heart. You may walk through seasons you don't understand. You may hear silence from me, but do not mistake my silence for absence. I am working quietly through what seems random, through delays that are actually perfectly timed. And one day, at just the right moment, you'll see how every scattered piece fits together flawlessly, forming a story of grace and wonder. My child, my plans for you are good and whole. Not a single part of your life is wasted. Not a moment is meaningless. Even if you've strayed, even if you've been weak, even if you've doubted me, I have not changed my design for you. I have not abandoned you. Never. And I have not rewritten your destiny, because I don't need to. I only need you to return. So trust in me, beloved. Keep walking, even if it's just one small step. Stay faithful, even if it's only in your quiet prayers. Keep hoping, even if it's just a flicker in the darkness. Because I am working all things together for your good. And one day, you'll know it was all worth it. My dearest one, when you open your heart and choose to believe in me, not just with your head, not just in form, but with your whole heart, that is when you enter into true life. The salvation I offer you is not merely a promise for some distant heaven. It is a gift for the now, for every breath you take. I didn't come so that you would simply long for a future day to fully live. I came so you could live today, free, strong, and full of meaning in my light. I am your Redeemer, not only saving you from eternal death, but also from fear, from chaos, from the confusion that can so easily entangle you in this world. I am your shelter in the storm, your covering when the world feels too vast and you feel too small. When you grow tired from carrying it all alone, remember this: I am your strength. You don't have to keep going in your own power. I am here, ready to sustain you with a strength that never runs dry. And dear one, do not overlook this. When you live in reverent awe of me, when you place me above all else in your heart, when you love, honor, and walk in obedience to me, that is when true wisdom begins to bloom in your soul. Not the cunning wisdom the world celebrates, but the clarity that comes from my spirit, discernment that reveals the right path, stillness that shows you what to hold on to, and what to release. It is this reverent awe that forms the strongest foundation on which to build your life. It won't make you weak or timid. On the contrary, it will make you brave, because you'll know you walk with the Almighty. It will keep you from chasing fleeting illusions and hollow promises. It will grant you true freedom, the freedom to live with honesty, to choose with integrity, and to love with purity, because you know the truth, and the truth has set you free. So let this wisdom become the lamp that guides your decisions, the compass that shapes your actions, and the light that illuminates your every thought. Do not rush. Do not follow the noise of the world. Instead, pause and listen for my voice, for I always lead you with kindness and love. And above all, walk each day with a confidence that doesn't come from yourself, but from knowing you belong to me. You don't need to become someone else to be accepted. You have already been chosen, already been loved, already been called by the most precious name, Child of the Most High. This confidence is not loud or boastful, but quiet, steady, and deep. It doesn't need to be proven, for it has been etched into your identity since the moment I formed you. When you live in that awareness, you will lift your head, not because you are flawless, but because you are covered in grace. You will face the future, not because you know everything ahead, but because you know me, the one who holds the future in his hands. My beloved child, if today you find yourself feeling uncertain, confused, or standing at the crossroads of decisions, great or small, remember this: I am not only the one who saved you once, I am the one who walks with you every single day. In every choice, every step, every silent moment or noisy hour, I am there, and I will never leave you alone. So trust in me, not just with words, but with your whole life. Let that trust sink deep into your very bones, become the lifeblood flowing through every part of your being, and then you will see. Salvation is not merely a destination, it is a journey with me by your side into eternity. My precious one, before you lies a path, at times radiant with the sunlight of hope, at other times shadowed by unforeseen challenges. You may look ahead and feel lacking, not strong enough, not wise enough, not equipped enough to face the unknown. But today I want you to pause for a moment, so I can remind you, you are not empty. You do not walk empty-handed. You are never alone. I have already prepared everything you need to walk the road ahead. Every step you will take, every trial you will encounter, every mission you are called to fulfill. I have seen it all in advance. And because I have seen, I have also provided. There is nothing you need that I have withheld. No challenge you will face exceeds what I have equipped you for. You are not weak. You are not powerless. You are chosen, equipped, and filled with my Holy Spirit. That very Spirit, not a vague feeling, but the living presence, dwells within you. He does not come to make you tremble in fear, but to give you power, love, and self-discipline. This is not merely encouragement. It is a sacred truth about your identity. You have power, not human strength, but heavenly authority. power to rise above circumstances, to silence lies, to overcome barriers that once made you stumble. You have the strength to stand when you fall, to forgive when hurt, to keep moving forward, even when no results are in sight. You have love, not just to hold for yourself, but to restore what's broken, to heal relationships that seem beyond saving, to embrace hurting souls. That love is not fragile like fleeting emotion, but mighty like an eternal spring from me, always full within you if you will know me and live in me. You have self-discipline, a spirit trained not to follow whims, not swayed by temptation, not driven by fear or anger. It is the ability to master yourself, to live a focused, disciplined, and purposeful life. I have not called you to live recklessly. I've called you to live freely in truth. And that freedom begins with choosing what is right every day by the power of my spirit within you. My child, do not measure your capability by your past failures or by the opinions of others. Look to me. Look to the one who formed you, who knows you from the inside out, and who has placed within you every spiritual resource you need to fulfill your life's mission. Every time you feel insufficient, come back to me. Every time you feel helpless, draw near. I never grow weary of giving, so long as you know how to depend, how to ask, and how to trust. Believe this, beloved. I never call someone without providing for them. I never send anyone out and leave them empty-handed. I am not a creator who abandons. On the contrary, I walk beside you. I equip. I uphold. I protect. I pour out new strength every single day. So do not fear the road ahead, even if it seems unfamiliar, even if it feels greater than what you think you can bear. Just keep walking. Do not stop just because you can't see the whole picture. I am guiding each step, and every step holds blessing, holds lessons, holds transformation, and holds me within it. Lean on me. When you rely on your own strength, you grow weary. But when you learn to draw from my strength, you will experience lightness in your soul, peace in the midst of battle, and joy even in uncertainty. The just shall live. Oxyan, I have called you, and I will finish what I have begun in you. You do not need to do it alone. If you are willing to walk with me, everything you need will be given. At the right time, in the right way, by heaven's design. So lift your head, be brave, move forward, not with fear, but with the confidence that I am with you, providing all you need, and I will never leave you. My beloved, in the darkest of days, when your heart feels crushed by burdens and trials, pause and carve this truth deep into your soul. With me, nothing is impossible. I know you're straining to face things far beyond your strength. Mountains too high, doors tightly shut, dreams that seem shattered. I see you struggling amid questions with no answers, fighting storms that threaten to sweep you away. But in the midst of it all, I remain unchanging, unshakable, full of power. And I say it again to you, nothing is beyond my reach. I am the one who created the vast sky and the depths of the sea. I am the one who holds every motion of the universe, The passing wind, each drop of rain, every beat of your heart. If I can call light out of darkness, make rivers flow through deserts, and breathe life into dry bones, would I not be able to change your situation? Would I not move the mountain before you? Would I not do exceedingly beyond what you dare ask or imagine? But, my child, the important thing is not your strength, but in whom your faith is placed. If you keep relying on your own strength, you will soon be exhausted. You were never created to carry the world. You were created to trust, to lean on me, to live from my boundless power. And I am never lacking in strength to help you. The only question is, will you let go of control and let me step in? I see your anxious heart. You try to understand everything through your limited understanding. But beloved, even the most brilliant mind is but a grain of sand compared to the ocean of wisdom I hold. What you cannot explain today, I am weaving into a good plan for your future. What you see as a dead end, I see as the bend that opens a new door. So do not place your faith in what your eyes see. Do not be deceived by present circumstances. Trust in my wisdom, because I see every part of the story you're living from beginning to end, and every detail is arranged by my love. And above all, my child, trust in my love. It is not a love that shifts with emotion, not shaken by your failures or mistakes. My love is eternal, unchanging, and never fails. You may fall, but I do not turn away. You may doubt, but I do not retreat. You may grow tired, but I will never give up on you. That same love brought me to your side on your loneliest nights. That same love held you when everything seemed to collapse. And that same love, even now, is waiting for you to open your heart, so I may enter, embrace your wounds, restore faded hopes, and breathe new life into your soul. Lift your head, my beloved. Do not let fear choke your faith. Do not let circumstances cause you to forget who walks beside you. I am the Creator, but I am also your loving Father. I am the Almighty, but I am also the safest refuge for your soul. I am eternal wisdom, and I am the one guiding your every step. You are not alone, not helpless, not forgotten. You are a part of my grand design. And I, the one without limits, am holding your hand. So what can stand against you? So walk forward, my beloved, not by your own strength, but by your bold faith in me. Live, not in fear, but in the assurance that my love never fails. Now, lift your prayer to me with all your heart. Let me teach you how to pray over your life. Almighty God, I come to you as a weary traveler, having walked far, often losing my way. Yet no matter how cold my heart may grow, your light continues to shine, gently reminding me that I belong to you, not because I am perfect, but because you are perfect in love. Please embrace my heart, a heart marked by many cracks, by countless attempts to love, to believe, and yet also by moments of disappointment. I do not ask you to change my circumstances. I ask only that you change me from within. so I may see all things through the eyes of gratitude and faith. Teach me, Lord, to live more slowly, more deeply, and to recognize that in the small things, the morning sun, a sincere gaze, your grace is revealed. Help me to continue loving even when love is not returned, to keep forgiving even when no apology is offered, to keep hoping even when the future remains unclear. I no longer want to live by the world's standards, but under the guidance of your Holy Spirit. Though I am weak, you are my strength. Though I fall short, you are my grace. Though I grow tired, you are my refuge. I surrender all, what I understand and what I do not, into your hands. May my life become an unending hymn of praise, rising to you each day. Almighty and merciful God, I feel small in this vast world, and yet you still see me. Amid the noise of life, I trust that even my quietest whispers reach your ear, and that alone gives me strength to keep living and keep hoping. Grant me the courage to face myself, not for judgment, but for compassion. There are parts of me I've tried to hide, fearing others may not accept them. But today I open my heart before you. Touch me there, Lord, and bring healing. Help me overcome the inner conflicts and the pain I do not even know how to express. I understand that you never promised a life without sorrow, but you did promise your presence. Let me receive each day as a gift. Help me live it fully, even in silence. Help me rejoice in the smallest blessings, the bird song, the soft breeze, the comfort of a hand held in love. Remind me that I do not need to be great. I only need to be genuine. I do not need to be flawless. I only need to be faithful. And in that, I have lived rightly before you. May my life become a river, ever flowing back to you. Slow, perhaps, but always faithful. Lord, I used to fear loneliness. I once believed that without someone beside me I could not go on. But you have shown me that in solitude I meet you most deeply. When all other sounds fade away, it is your voice that speaks most clearly to my soul. Help me cherish the quiet, sacred spaces where I no longer need to hide, no longer need to strive, only to rest within the embrace of the Father. Teach me to believe that your presence alone is enough to keep me standing, even if all around me crumbles. You know me better than I know myself. You know the wounds I dare not name, the dreams I hesitate to voice, the anxieties I hide behind a smile. Come, Lord, and warm my heart, not with eloquent words, but with the silent, powerful presence of your love. I do not ask to be understood by others. I only ask to understand myself in the light of your truth. I do not ask for a smooth road, only for feet that will not tire. I do not ask for everything, only for a heart that does not complain. If life is a journey, then please be the one who walks with me to the very end. Loving God, I offer you the unnamed parts of my life, the dreams still unfinished, the decisions I have yet to make, the hopes I'm still afraid to believe in. I offer you the quiet exhaustion, the sleepless nights, the days lived like a shadow. Please, touch my soul, not only to comfort it, but to awaken it. Awaken the faith that has slumbered, the love that once was wounded, and the calling you placed in me from the beginning. Help me remember that my life is not without meaning, that even when I feel small, you are still doing something great through me. Help me trust in the goodness that is still to come, even if I cannot yet see it. Use me, not as someone who stands in the spotlight, but as one who quietly sows light. Let me live a life that needs no applause, only the whisper from you. You are walking in the right direction. I choose to remain in grace, and if ever I go astray, please, Lord, come find me. Dear Father, I thank you for the days when I understood nothing, yet you still held my hand. Thank you for the moments I stumbled and fell, not to find reproach, but to be gently lifted. Thank you for loving not just the strong parts of me, but also treasuring my weakness, my brokenness. Thank you for the times I thought I had gone off course, only to discover I was walking toward your heart. Thank you that no tear was wasted, for each one bears witness to a soul that has loved truly, hurt deeply, and lived honestly. And that alone is enough for you to call me beloved. Thank you for never abandoning me, even when I felt like giving up on myself. Thank you for not seeing me through the lens of my failures, but through the eyes of your mercy. Thank you for not measuring me by what I have not achieved, but by the potential you planted in me. Lord, I thank you for each new morning, for even an ordinary day is a miracle. My Lord and God, today I do not ask, I only want to thank you. Thank you for life, for the ability to love, and for the hope still burning quietly inside me. Thank you that in a world full of change, you remain unchanged. Thank you for those who have crossed my path, even if just once, leaving behind traces of love. Thank you for the things that didn't go my way, for they taught me what no sermon could. Thank you for being present, not loudly, but steadily. When everything else falls away, you remain the unshakable foundation. Thank you for loving me not based on performance, but on relationship. Today, Almighty and loving God, I bow not under burden, but under gratitude. There are blessings I have never spoken aloud, yet you saw them all. There are graces that came like a breeze, but left marks on my heart forever. My heart for you. I thank you for every season I've walked through, not only the vibrant spring, but also the silent winters. I thank you not only for what I've received, but for what you've withheld, the doors that never opened, the relationships that never began. For now I understand, what did not come from you was your protection in disguise. Thank you for unanswered prayers, not answered my way, but in the best way. Thank you for your patience with my fragile soul, which you still call beloved. I thank you for every new day, not because I deserve it, but because you are merciful. I thank you that even now, standing in a world that shifts constantly, my heart rests in peace, because you are the one who never changes. Today, I want to live as a thank you, not just in words, but in action, in the way I see life, people, and even myself, with the eyes of deep gratitude. May my life be a living thank offering to you. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.